One of the coolest things about Klaviyo is that you can use product feeds to help merchandise the products in your store to your customers and to your prospects. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you set things up correctly in Neto so that you can make the most of your product catalog in Klaviyo. So let's jump on the computer. I've actually got a diagram for you today. So there's 3 ways that you can use product feeds in Klaviyo to help boost your sales in your Neto store. Number 1 is through reminders, and technically that's not using product feeds. It's actually using the existing event data that Klaviyo captures when customers are browsing your website. And that's for if someone's browsing your catalog, you can remind them that they're looking at a particular product, or if they leave an item in their cart, you can remind them of something that they've left in their shopping cart. Now, the second one is recommending bestsellers. So that's where you can recommend alternative products that are bestsellers. And what I mean is alternatives to the ones that the customer has already looked at or to the ones that the customer has already purchased. So that's pre and post purchase. And number 3 is you can cross-sell. So you can cross-sell other product categories that are different to product categories that the customer may have already made a purchase from. So I'm going to show you some more practical examples of how this works later on in the video. And the first thing that you need to do is configure a custom catalog source. And we do that in the backend in Neto. We firstly create a custom inventory export, and then we configure the custom catalog source within Klaviyo. So let's go into the Neto backend firstly. So here's the backend for one of our clients. We've already installed the inventory export, and basically what that does is it produces a JSON feed that Klaviyo can then consume. And the URL for the feed is this one here. So I need to copy that to the clipboard, and then I need to go over to Klaviyo. And once we're in Klaviyo, we click on products. Then we click on Manage Custom Catalog Sources. If you've not done this before, then you won't have any products displayed. Since we've already done this for this client, they're already loaded in. And we go Add New Source, and then you give it a name. So let's call it Neto_products. And then we paste in the source URL, and then we just click on Define Source. And that will then start the synchronization process for the catalog source. Now, since I've already done this, I'm going to show you how it looks. And the first time that you open up the source, it'll ask you to confirm the field mapping. You can see it maps the ID, the name, which is the title, the URL, the description, the price, the image link, and the categories into this custom source. So once that's all done, then you're able to create product feeds from that custom catalog source. Now, if you have a Shopify store and you're having a look at doing this, once you've installed the Shopify integration between Klaviyo and Shopify, the native integration, you don't need to do anything else to configure the custom feed. And in fact, if you go into custom catalog sources, you'll find there isn't one there because it all exists within the native integration. So to configure the product feeds, there's 2 ways that you can do this. Originally, you could only do it this way I'm about to show you, but Klaviyo recently added in a new feature where you can configure product feeds directly within the flow and campaign editor. So we go to products, and then we go manage product feeds. And you see I've got a bunch of product feeds already installed here. So let's go create product feed, and we'll just call this one products_bestsellers. You can only use underscores, can't use dashes. So there's 2 kinds of feeds. We've got our classic feeds, which is the ones that Klaviyo first introduced that are best-selling, most viewed, a combination of best-selling and most viewed, and newest products and random products. So you can create a feed based on any of those different specifications. And then there are some that you can make that will be personalized for each customer that they've recently viewed, or that they may also like, or that they've added to their cart. So let's have a look at the best-selling ones first. And when you choose this, you can choose the number of days, either 3 or 90 days. So let's say 90 days. And you can also exclude or include products in certain categories. So I'll show you an example of where that's useful. So in this particular feed where the client is selling plants and seeds and other things, there are some states within Australia that you're not allowed to ship live or fresh food and plants to because of quarantine restrictions in WA and in Tasmania. So what we do is we add this additional filter where the category excludes fresh products. So we assigned a category to all of the fresh products, and that's a hidden category. It doesn't have to display in your Neto store at all, but then we've got access to that category to be able to then filter by that. So it works as simple as this. You simply show products where category excludes, and then you can find the category just by searching up there. And that's really it. And then we can save that product feed there. So let's have a look at a different kind of feed, which is where customers may like. So this is where we've used the personalization for each customer. So we've said customer may also like, based on the customer's purchase history. You can also base it on their view history. I like to use the purchase history because if you use the view history, they may have been looking at products that were out of stock. So you don't necessarily want to do that. Using the customer's purchase history would be better. And if the customer has a limited history, we should show them their best-selling products over the last 3 days. You can make this 3 days or you can make this 90 days. And we haven't got any category restrictions for this one. So here's another example for Bilpin Cider. So they have got alcoholic and non-alcoholic products. So we've created a custom feed, which is just for non-alcoholic products only. And we're wanting to show the best sellers over the last 90 days where the category includes just their non-alcoholic cider collection. So now I want to show you a practical example of how you can use this product feed in a post-purchase flow. So we've got a flow set up here where once somebody has fulfilled an order, which is a metric that's available if you're on Shopify, we're going to wait 28 days. And then we've got a conditional split here. So what we're looking for is anyone who has placed an order where they haven't yet bought anything in the non-alcoholic cider collection. And then when we do that, we've got an email here. So if that's true, we're down the yes path and we have a look at this email. And let's preview that. And you can see it just previews only the items that are in the non-alcoholic collection. How do we do that? What we do is through this product block here. So you can see the product block here uses this product feed called non-alc products, and it's showing the products from the collection non-alcoholic cider, and it's the best-selling products over the last 90 days. Now, this is where a new feature that Klaviyo has recently released comes into play, which is you can create a product feed on the fly while you're inside the editor. So let's just call this alcoholic products and best-selling over the last 90 days. And let's include alcoholic cider, and we can create the feed. So you can see how it adds that feed in on the fly. And if we preview that, it now shows products from our alcoholic collection. Pretty nifty. Now let's go back to the Klaviyo account for our Neto store, and we're going to use product feeds inside our browser abandonment flow. So our browser abandonment flow is based on this event, which is called viewed product. So that's the trigger. And when someone viewed product, it means that they visited a product page on your website. So we wait 2 hours, and what we're doing here is we're just sending them a reminder, and that one just contains the product that they already viewed. And then we'll wait 3 days. And if they haven't made a purchase or at least made it to the shopping cart by that stage, then we're using product feeds to send them a recommendation. So here's the setup. So this one contains the image of the product that they've viewed. And this one is a product feed that shows products from all categories that the customer may like from the last 3 days. Now let's preview how that looks in a practical sense. And there we go. Now I'm going to show you how you can take this one step further using some branching, because we don't want to show fresh items to people that have a location in Western Australia or Tasmania. So we're going to set up a conditional split here, and the condition will be properties, and we're going to use the state or region, and we're going to need to use a few different options here, because WA could come in as Western Australia, or it could come in as WA, and it could be in upper or lowercase. And the same goes for Tasmania. So we'll quickly fast forward. So that's it. We've got our conditional split here. So what we're going to do is if someone has their region or state is set to Tasmania or Western Australia, they'll go down the yes path. If they're not, they'll go down the no path. So first thing I'm going to do is move this one over to the no path. And then I'm going to duplicate that, put this on the yes path, just rename this so that we can identify them. We know that one's for people in Tasmania or WA, and that one's for everywhere else. So let's edit that. And I'm just going to change the product feed that's used here. So we're using the products the customer may like, excluding the fresh ones. Let's preview that. And that's how that works. These products here are actually seeds. They're not the fresh things. So that's working fine. So we've gone through how we set up a custom catalog source in Neto, how that gets exported and consumed in Klaviyo, and how we can then use that source to create different types of product feeds and how to apply those in different types of flow within Klaviyo. It's been an interesting learning experience for me to learn how this all hangs together. And I hope you found this video useful and you implement something like this in your Neto store. If you need any help with migrating your Neto store from where you are over to Klaviyo so that you can take advantage of some of these great features, then you'll find a link below in the video where you can get in touch with myself or one of my team. We can have a chat about how we can help. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can make great subject lines in your emails, then have a look at this video over here. And I'll catch you in the next one.